Hello there, everyone. It is Thursday, May the 23rd. This is Jeff C. from Free Radio Revolution, and I've got some news for you. I think a lot of us are not going to be surprised by these types of headlines. Here is two FBI agents involved in Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's arrest fall out of a helicopter and die. Yes, sir. I mean, it's right out of a movie, right? Remember that movie? Remember the scene of Scarface when they tossed the gangster who was shooting his mouth off a bit too much out of the helicopter? Two members of the FBI's elite counterterrorism unit died Friday while practicing how to quickly drop from a helicopter to a ship using a rope, the FBI announced on Monday in a statement. The statement gave few details regarding the deaths of the special agents, Christopher Lorek and Stephen Shaw, other than to say that the helicopter encountered unspecified difficulties and the agents fell out from a significant distance. Last month, the team was involved in the arrest of Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, a suspect in the Boston Marathon bombings, and in February, it rescued a 5-year-old boy held hostage for 6 days in an underground bunker in Alabama. Whenever things go really wrong, the FBI calls the hostage rescue team. It's the government's 9/11. So what are the chances that two of the FBI's elite counterterrorism people who just happened to be the ones who arrested or were part of the team that arrested Dzhokhar, the Joker, fall in a training exercise? I mean, what are the chances? These guys are supposed to be elites. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so crazy. Of course, just the other day, we didn't have a chance to mention this, but the suspect killed by the FBI, there was a suspect that was killed by the FBI on Wednesday morning. Here we go. Wednesday morning, an FBI agent shot and killed someone they were questioning for his connections with the Boston Marathon bombers. Ibrahim Todashev, the suspect, was an MMA fighter with a 1-0 professional record. Todashev, who was reportedly a friend of deceased bomber Tamerlan, fought in July of 2012. He submitted Bradford May with a guillotine in the first round of their bout at the Real Fighting Championships in Florida. Pardon me. Kusen Tamarov, a friend of Todashev's, said that Tsarnaev and Todashev trained together in Boston. Tsarnaev trained and competed as a boxer, right? He used to talk on the phone with him, Tsarnaev, said Taramov. They talked last time a month ago after the bombing. I couldn't believe it. It's the world we live in, folks. Reality is stranger than fiction. So here's a suspect, and they just killed him for some reason. And he's an MMA fighter. So if he's an MMA, he's only fought one time, but he did win. I know a bit about MMA. In fact, I've been following MMA since it started. So to be an MMA fighter, you have to be in really good shape, and chances are you're not thinking too much about terrorism, but you never know, right? But it's highly suspicious. My belief, or my sort of hunch, would be that they silenced this guy because he was going to come forth with some information that might discredit the whole Tsarnaev ring. So then these two guys, perhaps they didn't like what they saw either. Perhaps they were starting to ask a few too many questions. Who knows, right? But there's something going on with that. There's a lot of covering up, and as I've shown in a lot of videos, that the Boston bombing is largely, I mean, it's a complete hoax. So there's a lot of things to cover up. There's a lot of trails. If these are FBI guys who are just trying to do their job, and then they find out somehow, somewhere along the line, that the story doesn't add up, and maybe they've got a decent conscience, right? And they start talking, or perhaps, to themselves, and everybody's being watched. Everybody who's saying something, well, everybody's being watched. We're all being watched all the time. And they're going to try and sell us that type of world for us, that we need to be watched, that we can't be trusted. So how crazy is that? Of course, we had the beheading in Woolwich, London. And right away, seeing the videos and talking about this with friends, it seemed so fantastic. It seemed, what the hell is going on? How does this thing make sense at all? Some people have broken down the footage. Of course, I think most of you probably know by now, this fellow here, this African immigrant, he's got a thick accent, African accent, and he's stating that the government is the enemy of the people, and this has got to be done. It just seemed amazing that somebody who just cut off somebody's head would be standing around to give an interview, and then would wait another 20 minutes with his friend for the cops to come and shoot them. It just runs counter to every single type of planned attack, unless it was completely spontaneous. And even if it was completely spontaneous, why would you stand around? What are you hoping to achieve? It's just so crazy. So some people here, here's David Abdullah. Oh yeah, and I wanted to say that Max Malone has an excellent video up. Linda sent me the link for this one, and I watched it, or I watched most of it. And he's pointing out how the headlines and everything were set. It was like, here's the headline here in the Daily Mail. This is a big online paper in Great Britain. We swear by Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you. What a man holding a bloody cleaver said after attacking a soldier, or hacking a soldier, in a Help for Heroes t-shirt to death, just yards from the Woolwich barracks. And it's one of those headlines that they love. I mean, it's the soldiers wearing a Help for Heroes. They have to put that in the headline, right? They have to put it in the headline. It just seems like perhaps that was the headline before the killing even took place. It seems all scripted. So just to show you quickly here,
London street, a man with bloodied hands carrying a knife and machete approaches
stop the music here.
and tries to justify what has just happened.
I apologize that women have to witness this today, but in our land, our women have to see the same. You people will never be safe. Remove your government. They don't care about you. I apologize that women have
Yes, and if you noticed before, there was a lady approaching. Several people have pointed this out. There's a lady that comes walking with her, I don't know if it's a stroller or just her groceries, but she doesn't seem the least bit perturbed that some dude is standing with a couple bloody knives on a corner, and there's supposedly a decapitated corpse on the side that suspiciously has no blood around it. And this guy has no blood on his jacket or on his sleeves, and it's on his hands. Of course, there's the lady. Okay, so it's not a baby stroller; it's a baggage or something. But she just kind of goes right by like nothing's going on. And they edited this video. They stopped it here, and then they show here, and now he has no blood on his hands, right?
They don't care about you. You think David Cameron's gonna get caught in the street when we start
So that lady walks right by. So this was the original video, and I believe the other one was the one that they edited, which they put clearly the blood on the hands, which you can see. His hands are completely red, right? I mean, you couldn't be, you know, the old expression, caught red-handed. You couldn't be more guilty than to be caught with hands covered in blood and a couple, you know, huge kitchen knives. And he's clearly got his hands out, showing them, not making any attempt to hide anything. And then this lady comes, and then of course they cut the video.
Women had to witness this today, but in our land, our women have to see the same. You people will never be safe. Remove your government. They don't care about you.
Then they restart, or they cut that video right at that point. This is the original, apparently, which he has no blood on his hands.
Remove your government. They don't care about you. You think David Cameron is going to get caught in the street when we start busting our guns? You think the politicians are going to die?
And I'm not 100% sure, but there could be two people that are filming this, and this is two different videos. One that has been fixed to edit out the lady walking past and to put the blood on the hands, and then the original one, which was just left as it is. So clearly we're having a game played with us, and this has been done. Oh boy, I mean, we saw it during the Boston bombing, Sandy Hook, all these false flag attacks, that the evidence is doctored at some point. There's extra blood that's added, and it's clear. You can see it. In fact, the pictures show more of it as you go along. You see the right. So as you go along, there's a point in one of the videos that I saw that that you see the pool of blood that they seem to have added at one point, and that wasn't there before. And fortunately, I don't have it lined up, right? But to me, this is just a big act. It's another.
How red his hands are.
Yeah. This is Enter the Stars here.
Clearly looks like blood, right?
Great job.
There are two vantage points on this camera. There are actually two cameras on this person. That's one vantage point. Okay.
There's the car, of course, that was involved in the whole thing,
now,
allegedly.
Notice this video, HD. Different camera angle, same woman walking in the background. No blood.
No blood for sure. No blood on the blades, no blood on the hands. There's no photos of the alleged decapitation. There's nothing to suggest that anyone was decapitated. Also, the fact that many people go up to this corpse here, which is supposed to be a corpse, and check on it. You wouldn't go up and check on somebody who had their head cut off. Okay? That wouldn't happen. Another thing that I noticed about the area in particular, just from these videos, good old YouTube freezing on me. Yeah, okay, so look at this. So the barracks are right around here, but you've got a little bit of a park here, it seems, and I'm not sure what's over here, but it seems like it's an area that would be easy to shut down for a second or two, or for an hour if you wanted to, or to control. It's not on a busy, even though there's people coming and there's a group of people over here. To me, it looks like the perfect type of place to carry out one of these staged events, because it's very close to where the barracks are. I mean, the barracks are, maybe this is where the barracks are, up in here or on the other side. And they got the trucks that are blocking. You notice there's a big truck here, there's another truck there. There's probably more down the other way that would be very convenient for blocking the view of the alleged attack. Another thing that would be really interesting for people to dig into would be the witnesses who saw it and what exactly they said. If there's anything that is completely contradictory or doesn't add up, I'm sure there's a lot. Because clearly we have a game that's being played minimum here by the media. The guy had no blood on his hands, no blood on the blades, and then all of a sudden they've reshot it or doctored the images to put all the blood in. So this is what's going on. It's not, I think what people have to wake up to is that it's not just United States. It's Canada. It's the UK. It's Europe. It's Australia, New Zealand. It's, the Anglo-American alliance throughout the world where the banksters are in complete control. What would be the purpose of having a Muslim, because they've clearly labeled him to be a Muslim, right? We swear by Almighty Allah. Of course, he has a very, very thick African accent when he's speaking. What would be the purpose of that would be to incite all kinds of hatred amongst Caucasian residents of or citizens of England who are already having heightened tension. I mean, there's been a lot of racism, obviously, right? And part of it's just a clash of cultures coming together. A big part of it is the globalization that is occurring. I mean, in many ways it's orchestrated. That if you bring in all these different groups together, or put 2 or 3 major groups kind of in similar areas, there's going to be strife. There's going to be all kinds of problems. So this is a classic method. It is really is New World Order 101. And really, New World Order 101 is divide and conquer. So if you can get the citizens of Great Britain to start focusing their anger and their hatred towards the Muslims, who are more and more numerous, and there's millions of them in places like London and Paris, and throughout Europe. I mean, there's riots going on in Sweden over anti-Muslim. There was several mosques that were hit apparently in England as a result of this. So to me, the way I see it is that this is a staged event, that this guy's an actor. He's probably on a plane back to Africa with a big fat envelope, or they're going to drop him from a helicopter. Who knows? Who knows how these people work? One of the things I noticed was that the Cobra, which is the counterterrorism special unit from, I believe it's MI6, were instigated for this particular incident. And even the name Cobra, when you think about it, if you know a little bit about afternoon cartoons and children's toys, Cobra, of course, is the enemy of G.I. Joe. And if you ever watch the old G.I. Joe comics, Cobra was the enemy. Cobra was the secretive government, or the secretive kind of specter-like force in the world that was trying to take over the world. And then, of course, G.I. Joe was the all-American hero. So you've got this group called Cobra that are coming in to take care of this thing and to, follow where it leads, or where they want it to lead. So, it looks to me like it's a huge setup, and the media is at the very least guilty of doctoring these images here of the guy putting the blood on his hands. And that was the first thing I noticed when this story broke and this video came out and went viral, was that the guy had red hands. It was like, why would he be doing that? Why would he just walk over to a camera? Why would he stay around for 20 minutes with his alleged accomplice and stand around the body waiting for the police? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, unless of course it's a staged event. So this is what they're doing to us. I don't know how many people are awake to it in Great Britain. I I think most of the people that listen to our show are Americans for the most part, so we got a lot of Americans that are definitely waking up to the whole dog and pony show that they're putting us through every day. And it's constant terror. I mean, we don't get any time off from these terror events. It's just they're one after another, and you can see how they're moving around. Don't be surprised if it's Canada or Australia next, or another part of Europe. Don't be surprised, because they are trying to perfect these things, and because the media is all controlled by the same group, it's a wonderful form of manipulation, mass manipulation, by having these staged events and then having the media come in and help promote or help sell the whole thing to the public. And unfortunately, a lot of Muslims are going to be attacked as a result of this, whether it's just verbally walking down the street, which is bad enough, or physically, or the mosque will be hit. And most of these people, they're 100% peaceful, and they have no desire to have any sort of conflict with other ordinary citizens. So it's really unfortunate when this kind of stuff, which appears to be highly staged, is carried out. So anyways, that's all I've got for now, and there's going to be a lot more coming forth over the next few days. I'm sure a lot more people will dig into this stuff, and they will. If you want to get more, check out Enter the Stars, check out Max Malone, Rainbow to Sun. There's Max Malone here. He's got great stuff. So yeah, support all these other YouTubers as well, and let's all try to do our little part in exposing what they're trying to do to us. Have a wonderful day. It's Jesse, over and out.